Have you ever opened up Canva, all excited to create your planner, and then 10 minutes later you are staring at a blank page thinking, what on earth am I meant to put in this thing, and how do I actually make it sellable on Etsy? If that feels familiar, you are definitely not alone. It is really easy to go ahead and jump straight into designing pages and then realize halfway through that you are not sure what the structure should even be, what pages people really want, or how this is going to stand out amongst all the hundreds, if not thousands, of other planners and journals on Etsy. So today, I actually want to take that pressure off a bit. I thought it would be helpful to go through and walk through how to design a productivity planner that is both genuinely helpful and intentionally set up to sell using Etsy's data from EverBee as our guide instead of just guessing. So if you've watched the first two videos in this series, you will know that we started by choosing a planner niche that actually has demand. And then we played with the idea of turning that planner into the heart of a little productivity club or community inside of school. So today is where we zoom back in on the product itself and say, okay, so if this planner is going to sit at the center of my business, what does it need to look like? What does it need to feel like? And what do I need to include so that it does its job really well? I am a big believer that your planner can be so much more than just a PDF, and a huge part of that starts with being really intentional about what you put inside. Okay, my friends, so let's go ahead and take this step by step. Before we can even touch Canva, I want you to get really clear on who this planner is for and what it is here to help with. Not in a vague, like, for busy women who want to be organized way, but in a really grounded human way. You might say something like, this planner is for mums who constantly feel behind, just want a simple weekly reset so that the house and their calendar don't feel so chaotic, okay? Or this planner is for creatives with ADHD who get overwhelmed by long to-do lists. Anyone raising their hand? And need a gentle, simple way to plan their day without shutting down, okay? Or maybe you might say something like, this is for people coming out of burnout who want to rebuild their routine slowly and prioritize rest and self-care, okay? What I want you to do is give your planner a person and a purpose. When you do that, every page you choose from here on out will have a job to do instead of being there just because every other planner has it. Once you have that person and purpose in mind, we are then going to bring in EverBee again and then see what is already working in the world of productivity planners. So let's go ahead, jump on over to my computer. We'll pull up Etsy with EverBee installed and we'll see what we can find. Okay, so now I'm here over on Etsy, and what I want to do is just type in a keyword that matches the kind of planner that I'm thinking about creating. So if I was working on that hot mess to best self idea, I might search for something like weekly digital planner, productivity planner for women or mums or something like that, or maybe like a get organized planner. If I was focusing on an ADHD planner, I would go ahead and search specifically for ADHD planner or ADHD daily planner if I was making something a bit more specific like that. So you can use whatever phrase fits your idea best. For this idea, I'm just going to go for productivity planner and let's see what comes up. So I'm going to type in here productivity planner and I'm just going to hit enter on that. So once you hit enter on your search, you're going to see a few different results come up. You'll probably see a mix of different styles, different types. So are they printable? Are they digital? You're going to see different covers and formats. And this is where EverBee really comes in handy and it becomes quite helpful. So just as a glance, as an overview, you can see details like the monthly sales overview. You can see things like conversion rates and so on and so forth. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and have a look at the product analytics specific to this keyword. So I'm going to go over here to the left hand side, go on over to product analytics, And then here is where we're going to get more in-depth information about some of those best-selling products. So what I like to do, like always, is just set the filter by the most revenue made per month. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on the arrow here. So that way the best sellers and the listings making the most revenue will always be at the top, and then it'll filter down from there. So from here, what I would do is I would go ahead and have a look at some of these top listings, and then I would do a more in-depth review. So let's say, for example, we want to go ahead and have a look at, let's say, this one here. So this professional planner bundle. So this is a professional planner bundle, project management. So this is more of a business type of product or organization for work. So I might skip that one. This is a great example of not always finding the perfect fit for you in the very beginning. So what I would do is have a look maybe just at the simple digital planner here. So this is a simple digital planner. It's for 2026. It's a more minimalist planner. So that might be the kind of vibe that we want to go for. Let's go ahead and have a look at the next one down. So an all-in-one digital planner for 2026. So this is a multiple year planner. So that's also another thing that you want to have a look at. So while you're entering in and opening up these listings, take notes of what they are including just from something simple as their title. So just by the title of this listing, that this is a planner for multiple years. And it's an all-in-one. It's for good notes. It's got weekly, daily planner. And that's just from the title itself. So you can just imagine how much more information we can get from diving into the actual listing itself. I'm just going to go ahead and have a look at a couple of different ideas and planners here. And then once I've found one that I feel like is more aligned to what I want to create, I'll go ahead and open that one up. Okay, so I went ahead and found this one here. I think this one, although it's specific for ADHD, I think the kind of vibe that we were going for with the idea that I had come up with kind of relates to a lot of people that have ADHD as well. So I'm thinking this is probably a good product listing and idea to just dive into and have a look further. So we can see here that the monthly estimated revenue is over $1,300 per month. The price of the actual product itself is quite reasonable. I think that's a pretty good price. And we can see here that it's actually not too old. The listing age is only 8 months old, so it's a relatively new product. And that means that it hasn't been on the market for so long, and that's the reason why it's popular. It's relatively new and it's already had plenty of sales. So let's go ahead and look at this even further by going on over to the View on Etsy button, and this will take us directly to the product itself. So let's go ahead and click on that. Okay, so once you have that open, what I want you to do is I want you to maybe ask yourself a few simple questions. Now, I don't want you to feel intimidated by any of these best-selling products. What I want you to do is just put your detective hat on and start looking for patterns. So what I would do is I would have a look at some of these listing images just to see some of the features. I want you to have a look at the title. So does it clearly say who the planner is for and what it helps with? What pages are included? Is it a daily layout? Is it a weekly, monthly, or is it a yearly planner? Or is it a combination of all of those? What support pages are included or around the main spreads? Are there like routines or brain dump pages? Are there reflection prompts? Are there checklists, right? So these are the kind of questions that you want to ask yourself when you are doing your research of these products, okay? You might want to think about, are there any bonuses included with the product itself? Are there any, like if you're creating something more digital, are there any widgets, or are there certain covers or stickers included even? You want to think about things like, how have they priced this product, right? How much does this price line up with the value that they've actually included inside? These are all success signals that give you clues about what people are responding to in this niche. So for example, you might notice that some of the best performing planners for busy women include a weekly overview, maybe it includes like a spot for meal planning, a brain dump section, maybe a weekend reset checklist. Rather than just trying to cram everything into a daily spread, for example, these are perhaps things that you want to think about, right? For an ADHD friendly planner, you might see lots of white space or short prompts, very simple boxes, and maybe very little visual clutter. Okay. For a more self-care focused planner, you might see habit trackers combined with mood logs and reflections, maybe questions that they need to ask themselves each week. So you're not going to copy any of these layouts, but you are absolutely allowed to use them as inspiration for the kinds of pages that your exact person might need. Okay, so now that we have a real feel for what is working, we are going to pull it back into our own world and then sketch out the structure of your planner. You can do this on a simple paper with pen, in a Google Doc, in Notion, or wherever your brain likes to do its thinking. This part is really important because it becomes your blueprint, not just for design, but for how your business can grow around this planner. I like to break it down into 3 layers: the core pages, the support pages, and then the special extras. So your core pages are the spreads that your person will use over and over again. So if we take my example idea, the Hot Mess to Best Self Weekly Planner example, your core pages might be a weekly overview spread with space for the main priorities, appointments and a loose plan for each day, a daily or any day page they can duplicate as needed for more detailed planning, a monthly overview or reset page where they can reflect on what is working and what is not, and set gentle intentions for the next month perhaps. And as another example, if you're working on an ADHD planner, your core pages might be a very simple daily page, a weekly check-in and plan page, and a monthly brain dump and review page. If it's more of a self-care planner or journal, your core pages could be a weekly spread that combines to-dos, habits, and simple self-care prompts as well. Now we want to think about those support pages. These are the ones that make the planner feel like a whole experience rather than just like a generic calendar, for example. So you want to think about things like a quick start or how to use this planner page. You want to write this in your own voice. A brain dump page for getting all the mental clutter out. A routines page perhaps where they can map out morning and evening routines or weekly resets. Maybe you want to include a goals page if that fits your person, or maybe a values page. This layer is often where your personality really starts to come through. And then if you want to go that extra step and if it feels aligned, you can think about some of the special extras that you might want to include. These might be extra inserts for specific areas like finances or cleaning or content planning. It might be like a tiny wins log or a gratitude page. It might be a simple self-reflection page for the end of the month. Okay, so there's just a few ideas that you might want to include. Now, you don't need to add all of these things or all of these things from the start. I would much rather you create a focused, usable planner with a clear job than something that tries to be everything for everyone, okay? But having this 3-layer structure in your mind makes it easier to decide what belongs and what can be saved for a future add-on or maybe a bonus inside of your community. Now, the last thing I want to touch on in this video is how you are going to position this planner on Etsy, because you can have the most beautiful product, you can have the most beautiful layout, the most beautiful planner in the world, but if the title, the images, and your description are unclear, people will simply not find it and they'll just scroll right past. So think back to that person that you are creating this for and the problem that your planner is helping with. Instead of calling it something really generic, I want to give yourself permission to be specific and a little bit creative as well. So not just digital planner or printable planner, but a weekly digital planner for busy women feeling a little bit all over the place, okay? So we've added in who it's for and what it is with a little bit more creativity. So not just a self-care journal, but maybe a gentle self-care planner for burnt out creatives, okay? See what I've done there? So you want to use your title and your thumbnail mock-ups and images and the first lines of your description to make the person feel like this is for them, okay? You want to show the core spreads clearly in your images, and if you can, include one lifestyle mock-up where the planner is actually in use. And one simple graphic that lists out what's included, like weekly overview, daily reset pages, routine planners, tiny wins tracker. So just highlight some of the features of your planner. When you write your description, imagine that you are talking to a friend who has just told you they feel like a hot mess and they do not know where to start, okay? So you really want to get into those feelings of your customers. You want to explain what this planner will help them with, how it's different to other planners in the market, and how they can use it in a way that's actually going to help. Now, if you are planning to build a community or club around this later, you can also plant a little seed in the description as well. You might want to put in the description or even in your graphics as well, something like, if you would like more support using this planner, keep an eye out on your downloads because I am working on something special for planner lovers just like you, okay? So that way they get a little taste of potentially what's to come. Okay, my friend, I know that was a lot that we went through, but let me pull it all together for you in a really simple way. So you don't need to create the biggest, bestest planner, if that's even a word, on Etsy. You do not need 100 pages. You just need a clear person in mind, a clear purpose in mind, and a structure that supports that purpose. Go ahead, use EverBee to learn from what is currently working in the market, then come back to your own values and your own people, and then go ahead and design something that really does serve them. And remember that planner to productivity business worksheet that I mentioned back in video 1? This is the perfect moment to bring it up and use it again. Go ahead and use that same worksheet to jot down your planner structure, list your core pages, your support pages, and any extras you want to add as well. And also go ahead and sketch out how this planner might grow into an ecosystem later. Again, you can find that worksheet inside of my free school community, the Digital Creators Collective. So if you joined after that first video, just go ahead, jump back into the classroom and pull it up again. And if you are new here and you haven't joined yet, or you haven't watched that video yet, first go ahead, watch that video, and then the link is waiting for you in the description below, so you can go ahead, sign up and grab that freebie. You will also find my EverBee link, my referral link there inside of the description box if you would like to start using the same tool in your own research as well. EverBee is the tool that I always use whenever I am checking for new ideas or I'm planning future products. And it really is a helpful way to ground your ideas in real data without losing the heart behind it. Okay, my friends, so if this video has helped you feel just a little clearer about how to structure your planner, please feel free to give it a like and also subscribe so that you don't miss the next part, the final part of the series, where we are going to talk about turning your Etsy planner and your customers specifically into members of your wider productivity world using school as your home base. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. You really can build something beautiful around your planner, one thoughtful page at a time. And I am so excited to see where it takes you. Okay, I will catch you in the next video, the last part of this series, coming up real soon. Okay, bye for now.